championship season of 1965, Carroll Shelby had become more directly involved in Ford's ultimate quest, winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans with its Ford GT.
Well, we did all right the first couple of times out. The field of cars were very impressive at Daytona and Sebring. Now we're getting ready for the big ones overseas, Monza, Targa Florio, and Le Mans. In the weeks to come, we hope to continue our string of victories. It's a cinch that whatever success we find, we'll also find our share of disappointments. Motor racing is that way. It's a rich mixture of heartache and joy. For those of us who participate in this most exciting of sports, the Ford people, our crews, drivers, whatever the outcome, racing becomes a never-ending pursuit of excellence.
Hal Sperlich and Ray Geddes and I went to Europe and hired John Wire, who used to run the Aston Martin team, and we took Eric Broadley in, but and bought the rights to a car that he had done, a low rear engine, midship engine GT car, but he couldn't stand the Ford politics, and being the independent cuss that Eric is, I can't say that I blamed him, because he knew what he wanted to do, and he didn't need 3,000 engineers telling him what he ought to do, and 15 marketing people telling him what he ought to do, and everybody having a different opinion of what you ought to do, and so he pulled out of it. But the GT40 evolved from that. John Wire put the people together over in England, and that's where the GT40 came from. Then we did a lot of work on it, but we didn't do any of the initial design work. That was John Wire and Lynn Bailey, and we did a lot of development work in it. We raced it, and when the GT40 really became viable, though, was when Bill Ennis and all those wonderful engineers, O'Sullivan that built the first Ford Flathead, built us a 427 aluminum engine and put it on the dynamometer and ran Le Mans with an engine and gearbox 3 or 4 times. If it broke, they fixed it, strengthened that part, and that's the reason we went to Le Mans and won in '66 and '67.
Ford would achieve their Le Mans victory in 1966. Ford GTs would finish first, second, and third, with the top 2 finishing cars, the ones prepared by the Shelby team. Several months later, the Shelby American team would suffer an immeasurable loss. One of the most valuable members of the Shelby American success story, who had come aboard in early 1963, was Ken Miles. He was an outstanding driver and development specialist. He had been instrumental in the Shelby racing program and in the development of the 427 Cobra and the GT350. In August of 1966, while testing the new Ford GT J car at Riverside, he crashed and was killed.
Ken Miles, God rest his soul, the GT40s would never have reached the pinnacle that they reached without Ken Miles. He was the ultimate long-distance racer. He could go very quickly if he had to, but he was the ultimate as far as long-distance racing is concerned. I've never had a loss that hit me as hard as when we lost Ken. He was not only a friend, but he was a good engineer. He was a good test driver. He was as good a race driver as I ever knew. And I can't say what a void I felt when we lost him.